So I haven't been feeling very good. I got the second shingles shot, and boy, have I had a lot of side effects and a lot of flu-like symptoms. And so yesterday I thought, well, I'll probably get somebody to cover for me on Friday because I just don't feel good. As long as nothing big happens. As long as, I don't know, the former FBI director takes a stroll along the beach and posts a picture on his Instagram that says, "Kill Trump." As long as that doesn't happen, I could probably get by with taking a sick day. So when it happened, when James Comey posted a shell formation that spelled out 8647 and said, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk," I realized, well, shingles shot side effect or not, I gotta come to work. Can't miss this. No. Couldn't miss this. And I wanted to dive in. Besides, I'd rather be here with you than home in bed anyway. And just a quick disclaimer. Getting shingles is worse than the shingles shot and the subsequent side effects. But chances are good you'll get some side effects. And it has not been fun. Boy, oh boy, have I been sick. And it's just weird. And it's the flu-like symptoms and shakes and sweats and chills. And, it has not been fun. I'm sweating here right now, sitting in the studio. I got poor Tracy. Put up the air. Turn up the air. It's a meat locker in here, and I'm still sweating. But I'll bet I'm not as sweating as much as James Comey is. So he posts on Instagram a picture of shells that say 8647, which of course literally means kill Trump. A lot of radical activists and lunatics on the left have used this expression, 8647. A lot of them are posting it on social media saying 8647 has to be done right away, has to be done now. And they don't mean an impeachment. They don't mean he'll resign. They don't mean there'll be some procedural effort to remove him from office. They want to kill him. They've tried to kill him 3 times. 2 assassination attempts and 1 by Iran. And I wonder how many we don't even know about. So what's going to happen to James Comey? Well, it's real simple. Real simple. If he's not frog marched out of his house in his underwear at 5 in the morning, the way other Trump supporters have been, thanks to the weaponization that James Comey and others participated in, then Pam Bondi's you got to start doing something. And there's only one issue here, is not if, but when James Comey gets arrested for threatening the life of the President of the United States. You don't get to do that. You can't get away with it. Tulsi Gabbard is right. James Comey knew exactly what he was doing, and he ought to go to jail. Here was Tulsi Gabbard last night with Jesse Waters on Fox News.
Comey himself admitted in his follow-on message that he knew that this was a political statement. Well, the only reason he knew that, Jesse, was because a little over a month ago, a bunch of anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk protesters were proliferating the use of this 8647 slogan, which was a veiled call to action to murder the sitting president of the United States. So for Comey to think that we, the American people, are so stupid as to think that he, as a former FBI director, former prosecutor, and someone who clearly pays attention to what's going on, would believe his lie that he didn't know what this actually was calling for, the dangerousness of this, Jesse, cannot be underestimated. When we have 2 assassination attempts on the president's life, when we have people who look to guys like Comey, who've been celebrated by MSNBC and the Democrat elite and CNN as the beacon of integrity, the law and order guy, the guy who would tell the truth no matter what the consequences. This is the guy who's issuing a hit on President Trump, the president that the American people voted for So it's guys like Comey and others who call the president the modern day Nazi, people who are in great positions of influence, who are saying that President Trump poses an existential threat to our country. These are people who hate democracy and hate the American people because they cannot stand that the people overwhelmingly chose to elect Donald Trump and send him back to the White House. So they are seeking other means to get their way and to try to remove him from that position. According to the law, which is something that he claims to have given his life for and stands by the rule of law. Fantastic. The rule of law says people like him who issue direct threats against the President of the United States, essentially issuing a call to assassinate him, must be held accountable under the law. Any other person with the position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
She's right. She's absolutely right. Now it's just up to Pam Bondi. It's up to the Secret Service. It's up to the federal officials to do the right thing. If there's not accountability for this, if there are no consequences for this, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And you know what I mean by worse. Somebody's going to be successful. Somebody's going to pull it off. And then our country is going to be in a world of hurt. I don't even like to think about what would have happened to our country if the guy in Butler, Pennsylvania had been successful. I don't even want to think about my fellow Americans and what our nation would have gone through if the guy on the golf course in Florida had been successful. I don't want to think about what this country would experience if Iran pulled off an assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Bottom line is, do your job, Pam Bondi. Do your job, Secret Service. He is reportedly being investigated. He is reportedly being scrutinized. An investigation has been launched. Good. Do your job.
Mike Gallagher.
It's really hard to comprehend how awful these people are. It is absolutely gut-wrenching to recognize that the people who are supposed to be our most serious and professional levels of governance are just unhinged political madmen. The guy's a grown man walking around on the beach like a teenager, taking pictures of shells that spell out 8647. He thinks that's funny. He thinks that's cute. He thinks that's clever. He's selling a book, right? He wants to get a lot of attention. Well, he got attention, all right. If he doesn't get the kind of attention that is actual legal consequences, then Pam Bondi, the Justice Department, the Trump administration, and I guarantee you, President Trump is not sitting around twiddling his thumbs and expecting them to ignore this. Tonight, his interview with Bret Baier is going to air on Fox News Channel, but his comments about James Comey's threat on his life have made news, and that part of the interview has already been released.
He knew exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard. Because people like me, and they like what's happening with our country. Our country's become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he doesn't.
Well, he
wasn't
apologized
calling
because
for
he was
violence. But
look, he's a very bad.
What do you want to see happen?
What
do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this: I think it's a terrible thing, and when you add his history to that. If he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop. And if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision.
It's fascinating to me that Brett Baer incorrectly stated that James Comey apologized. Let me read to you what Comey said as the follow-up when he deleted the picture that said essentially kill Trump, 8647. He said, I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down. That's it. That's all he said. Does that sound like an apology to you? Hey, Brett, you're a good journalist. Words matter. He did not apologize. 800-655-Mike. Bottom line is, we are at a point, the American people are at a point where we're tired of talk. It's time to have this man's back at the Justice Department. It's time for our Justice Department in the Trump era to hold these people accountable. And if there is not accountability, it's only going to get worse and worse, and then we're going to be left with something that is so dreadful, I can't even put it into words. And you know what it could be. Sarah's in Chicago. Hey, Sarah, welcome back. How are you?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
After the Russiagate scandal, and Comey played a prime role in this, including what he did to poor Michael Flynn.
That's right.
Comey should be shamed. He should have been crawling under a rock. But instead, unbelievably, and it's so ironic, I heard he was teaching ethics at an Ivy League law school.
Are you kidding me? Are
No,
you serious?
I'm not.
Oh my gosh! Wouldn't that be par for the course? Yeah, the ethics. He's the ethics professor. As Trump put it, President Trump said it best. He's a dirty cop. He was conning people like Michael Flynn into thinking there was a friendly interview, and then it was really an ambush. They were trying to dig dirt up on people. He played all those games with the Hillary stuff. And look, the left hates him too because they think that he got Trump elected with the whole shenanigans with Hillary's illegality and all of Hillary's lawlessness. 800-655-Mike. Chuck's in Battle Creek, Michigan. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Hey, wasn't James Comey retained by Mr. Trump in the first term for stability of the FBI? Isn't that correct?
Well, he was the FBI director in Donald Trump's first term, yes.
Right. So he was invited to a White House meeting, and a 6'6" man wore this blue suit, and they filmed. There was a film clip on CNN of him standing next to the blue curtains.
Yeah, trying to fade into the curtains.
Why did you wear a blue suit? And he said, I wanted to blend in. I was aware that the curtains, it was a camouflage for a 6'6" man. That's the top.
Yeah, I know. The guy's a clown. I mean, the guy's disgraced. He's the disgraced former FBI director. He is not to be taken seriously. But if you do something this serious, even unserious people can cross the line. And he crossed the line. He went too far. And now there has to be accountability. 800-655-Mike. One open line.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.